How to live with mutual respect. One of them is highlight the commonalities.
Absolutely.
And jointly work on those commonalities. Talk about them. Let people know that, there's a big area where we agree. There are areas of disagreement, but let's focus on the areas where we agree. And I already mentioned that when we are talking about differences, let's talk about them politely. Why? I've already mentioned, because, it's so very important that when we both are trying to find the truth, the ultimate truth from our Creator, and we've got differences in some matters, I must understand you without doubting your intentions and without necessarily concluding that you are wrong and I am right. It's difficult, but I think this is what needs to be taught to religious people, which is what is missing. We must learn to listen to the other person with an empty mind, which is, Charles, something that doesn't happen. I am listening to you with a Muslim mind. Some people might say, well, that's natural. No, sorry. I have to listen to Charles by telling myself that here is somebody who believes that what he has is the truth. So let me understand what he's saying. Right? Thereafter, I just try to work out. So I think that's something we must learn and work on. We must also, I'm talking about mutual respect and understanding, know our limitations. I must know my limitations. I must know that what I believe to be the truth is likely to be the influence of my environment, my parents, and the way I was brought up. Let's face it. You see, people living in different parts of the world, most of them are what they are in their religions. Hindus, Christians, Jews, etc., Chinese. Why? Because they were born in that background. So, when I am talking about the truth, and I'm trying to let you know about my side of the understanding of the truth, I must realize that my understanding has a very strong influence in the manner I was brought up and in the environment I was brought up. Let's face it, we get influenced by humans, by personalities, and what they say, we think that they're right. So I think this limitation should always be there in our mind. Thinking positively about the other people. I must tell myself over and over again that the other person, Charles, is as passionately involved in his point of view, his understanding and faith, as I am in my faith. What is his fault? And from his point of view, what is my fault? I mean, we are what we are because that's how, our environment and situation probably would have caused us to become. Or could we be otherwise? You see, one of the problems with religious people is that they think that the other person is thinking the way he's thinking, not because he's doing it honestly, but because he has some malified negative intentions, negative objectives. So I think this positivity, the approach of looking at the other person with a positive understanding is important. I think there's another very important thing that we need to have to grapple with, which is the difficulty, the problem of conversions. It's a very huge matter. It's a big issue. When different people of different faiths, they come together, they interact, I have no problems if you try to influence me with your point of view. Why? Because you think what you have is the truth. And what I believe is my truth. So while we are engaged in a discussion and I get influenced by you, and I convert, it should not be seen as a problem by my community and likewise by your community. That's not what the case is. I know it's not easy, but I think we must work on it. It's not easy for a community to learn about the fact that one of their members has moved on to the territory of the other understanding. But this is a big problem, and it really needs to be sorted out by discussion, by understanding. I think we can do well to meet more frequently. Let it not be the one and the only meeting. So Muslims and Christians should meet frequently to be able to have a discussion, dialogue, and understanding with each other. I would also mention the need for a platform, common platform. And I will give the example of what people in High Wycombe, it's a county next to London, where I've been there 3 or 4 times. They've got this CCMR, Council of Christian Muslim Relations, and they're doing wonderfully well. Whenever I've gone there to make some kind of presentation, I've found that if there are 20 participants, 10 of them are Christians, 10 Muslims. So I think this again is a good idea, that we have some joint ventures, platforms where we have discussions, we have speakers, where presentations are made, and the participants ask questions. That's all from me.
Thank you for sharing. So the question is how live together with some mutual respect. And I think my first answer will be like to have a dialogue with establish. It's something which is very important because today there are a lot of non-understanding aspect of each other. So we have some, I don't know say how we say that in English, but when I think something about somebody, but I don't know the truth about him. And I think both religions have a lot of that about each other. And I think the dialogue is something who, like you say, have to be bold. And I actually appreciate and actually like the idea of having a platform to discuss and to discuss with good argument, good content, if I can say like that. And something else also can, I think, help us. I come from Switzerland, and in Switzerland, in school, we are like the first school until we have like 12, 16, we learn about religion. And Switzerland is a Protestant country, but we learn principally about Protestant, and it's 50% about Christianity and 50% about Islam. And it's something that we teach in school for everyone. It's some courses who are not obligated by the program, by the government, but in general everybody participate. And I cannot say it's not an imam who teaches Islam, and it's not a pastor who is teaching Christianity. It's a teacher who is really basic and it's not really deep, but it's helping, I think, each other to understand those things and aspects, and it's helping us to have some topic of discussion and question ourselves. And one thing will also help us, I think, to be respectful. It's also to be open and willing to question ourselves. And because today, in many domains, I don't know if domain is English, but in many areas, we don't really question ourselves. We just get some teaching from whatever, and we don't encourage people to grow and to push that understanding. And it's something on what we should work, and we'll bring a lot of good things about that. After, like you said, the respect of our differences, but again, those respect coming by the fact to have a discussion. Because if we, it's like the racism. If I come from a white family, if my parents roast me and say black people, they are nothing and just underdog, okay, in my head, those people are just nothing. But if there are an explanation and something to help us to grow, it's make a big difference as well after when we are adult. And yeah, I hope my point was clear enough. Another thing is to be tolerant with each other, because to come back again, we have one truth, but we have no tolerance for each other. And personally, on my perspective, I don't believe that God is a God of tolerance. He's a God of forgiveness. But as human, we have to have some tolerance and understanding with each other to live together, because we are not here for the war. And I don't believe that is the purpose of God to kill his own creation. Whoever is God, if it's Jesus Christ or Allah. So I think it's things who are very important. I believe as well that we can work for many things together. I believe both religions love people and want to serve people. And I think it's something where we see that, or if I'm working with a Muslim as a Christian organization, if I'm working with a Muslim organization, it's not something that we truly put in first. If we just look basically, if we can do that, and I believe that together we can be stronger, but we'll be faced to a reality. We are doing things to win souls for God, because like we said in the first question, we believe in eternity. So they will have a barrier about that. But I believe that there are some activities that we can do together, and we will bring that understanding with each other. Yeah, I think I'm done with those points.